Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Let's get right in the information today. Again, none of this is financial advice. I'm simply going over recent developments, news, and DLT, tokenization, XRP, cryptocurrency, and simply sharing my opinion. I don't know everything, neither does anybody else. This is a nascent market, but I think that we can agree whether you have kind of tribalism for Bitcoin or XRP or any other asset, that DLT and tokenization solves and has the potential to solve real problems for businesses today. Again, to help the world become more efficient and make the world a better place for everybody. So again, we can have different opinions. Let's just respect each other's differences. I get a lot of flack for making videos and sharing news during these types of bear markets. Again, this is typical. If you've been around in cryptocurrency, I'd imagine most people have been, at least on this channel, maybe average 2 to 3 years. That's kind of just my guess. I know there's some people that have been around since 2015, etc., or even just kind of hopped on the last 6 months. I am very jealous of the people that came into this market, say in January, starting up until now, because they've had enough time to at least do enough sufficient research to realize how big this potential is for this market. Understand that Amazon, a lot of stocks in the dot-com bubble, if you've studied it, which I've studied it religiously, and yes, there's many analogies. A lot of things that are happening today are analogous with what happened during the dot-com bubble. Wall Street investing and diversifying millions of dollars in many companies and admitting, yes, some of these companies, they're crap. These people running it have no understanding of economics. They have no roadmap or business plan. But if just one of the investments in each type of sector succeed, we're going to make our money back tenfold. So again, this is why I'm excited. There's tons of upside. I am here to trade. I'm trading daily. I'm, getting there. I'll keep that private. But again, guys, I think we can agree that distributed ledger tech, it's been, trialed and tested, and there's many proof of concepts by many of the central banks that we've gone over on this channel for XRP. We have 400 plus videos. I don't need to be convinced at all. It's simply a waiting game. Question is when, how much, how many times? And the question and kind of the topic of today's video is, will all boats really rise during a tide? All right, and I kind of have a few jokes and thoughts with that. And the question is this, guys. We have 5,000 plus cryptocurrencies existing today. We know it's kind of blatantly painful to admit that many of them are scams. Many don't have funding. Many don't have partnerships. It really is just kind of a website, a white paper, etc. But the ones that are actually solving a real problem, there's dozens that have some great potential, and they can all work together. They don't have to be a disruptor. They can enable partnership and interoperability. So I know we've heard the news with, PayID, this open payments coalition, enabling millions of people for interoperability, kind of setting that standard for, messaging and a single wallet. Just like today, guys, imagine if you could not email at work. If you had Outlook or Gmail, you wouldn't be able to send an email to anyone with Yahoo or AOL or anything like that. An Apple email, etc. It's highly inefficient. If I had money in my PayPal account on my phone application and someone wanted me to pay them to their Venmo application, I wouldn't be able to do that. There's no bridge. There's no interoperability. The companies are walled gardens, or we call them kind of silos. There's separation. I would actually, the most efficient way would to wire my money or just do an ACH transfer back to my bank and then send them the money again directly to Venmo. Highly inefficient, guys. I think we can agree, since we can already stream video from space, we have data, we have information, all that works great. The internet did that. But for the internet of value, it's simply time to catch up. Excuse me. We haven't done this or upgraded really in 40 plus years for at least the correspondent banking network. It's highly inefficient, and it doesn't take a genius to realize that these inefficiencies are costly or just unnecessary today. And right now, SWIFT, yes, they hold a lot of power. US sanctions, they do control a lot of it, even though they're based out of Belgium. And eventually, hopefully sooner than later, because a lot of people invested in these open source protocols have a big chance of kind of unleashing this money, especially as it becomes digitized. There's an opportunity, and this is only going to happen once. So for me, I'm trying it. I think life is risky day one. The second you're born, your clock is ticking, and that's the way I look at life. And that is the way that I'm looking at these investments. Is that unhealthy to you? Are you very conservative by nature? Perhaps, but I just know who I am. I am a very different person, and perhaps, I don't recommend watching this video. So the internet, guys, we know it successfully connected individuals to information. And is it done? Is it mature? It's constantly evolving. So people say, okay, well, when is the internet of value going to be mature? When is XRP going to be at this price? We can't answer that, because things are always changing, they're always happening, they're always evolving. I just believe that it is extremely undervalued, and they say if successful, when volume starts increasing over the ledger with higher transactions, the potential is absolutely there. And that is why I invest only money that I'm willing to lose. All right. So I've been here, a few years now. I'm personally convinced, and whether you believe in Bitcoin, Ethereum, because that has so many projects on it, I hope it can scale. Obviously, I hope it can do a successful migration proof of stake. I think that the more all of this technology is looked at, VeChain, Cardano, Tezos, any of these assets, I think the potential is there. I don't know everything, but neither do you. All right, so let's get into the information, guys. I know we had Brian Brooks. Now he's, in tight with Steve Mnuchin now, Donald Trump, all of them. He is the acting comptroller, again, of cryptocurrency, kind of the US banking system now. He was formerly is the chief legal officer of Coinbase, Brian Brooks, guys, and he's unveiling a new payments charter. I think we can agree that it's going digital. Do we hope that these open source protocols are used? Absolutely, in some way. And will there be some that are created that are better? Yes. What I'm saying is, and my belief is this: banks will not just create something and all agree to use it. Brad Garlinghouse has gone over this numerous times. There will be many, many walled gardens and utility settlement tokens for different networks, and that is not an XRP killer. It's not an Ethereum killer. Hyperledger is doing some great things with Ethereum. The assets that I'm seeing in actual documents and proof of concepts, I just believe, and obviously it's not guaranteed, but I don't think that they're trialing these assets since 2015, some of them, for fun. That's all right? So let's get into the information. So XRP Crypto Wolf sharing this, and again, really appreciate him. Definite follow on Twitter. Thank you for always, DMing me information. SBI VC, and again, they're the largest shareholder of Ripple and R3, the banking consortium, essentially the Lehman Brothers, the Wall Street boys getting their slice of the pie, doing high value transfers with R3. Corda Settler is alive and well. They're working on trade settlements, obligations, you name it, right? Ripple, focusing on the highly illiquid, high friction corridors, solving real problems, step one. So VC Trade just launched their mobile application, VC Trade SP, today. So now you can easily buy, sell, and trade crypto assets, as we can see, XRP, ETH, Bitcoin. So no surprise, again, I translated this from Japanese to English, and as you can see, mobile application, we got XRP in the Japanese yen. If you guys want to take a look, I'm sure this is old news, and it does remind us again of that recent interview that Tony at Thinking Crypto did with CEO Adam Trademan of SBI Ripple Asia. We saw, if you watched my previous video, when they were specifically formed with Ripple and both SBI. So again, Yoshitaka Kitao is also a board of director for Ripple. He obviously is extremely bullish and wants Japan to even use XRP domestically, believe it or not. And people argue, XRP is simply for cross-border, highly illiquid markets. But if the liquidity is there and you can trade 24/7, have control of your funds, it could potentially actually solve domestic use cases as well, only if it is more efficient in terms of maybe cost, time. Again, businesses, they don't care about anything but cold, hard math. That is all that matters. If it does not step up and, stand up to that and something's better, so be it. All right, so right here, SBI Ripple Asia, CEO expects greater on-demand liquidity expansion into Asia by 2021. He says that he hopes that SBI is launching by end of year. I know we got this like 2 years ago. I get the frustration. Don't know what happened, to be completely honest, but time will tell. All right, so we'll see what happens. And obviously, I think the future is bright. I know 2020 has been one crazy year. My heart goes, out to everybody that's been affected in some way. I personally absolutely have been, even if it's only just, mental health for some of you. All right, so right here again, talking about R3 and Corda. So Matthew Liony showing this. And this, in my opinion, doesn't have anything to do with XRP per se, all right? But I just want to show you the developments because this is, again, DLT. So R3 Contour uses Corda Settler. This is able to settle in XRP. It's been the only asset named, but they are, from what I know, completely agnostic. Just like Interledger Protocol, they can settle with any asset. I just thought it was interesting, especially after the lawsuit for settling for an unknown amount. Starting at 5 billion XRP, we don't know if they even settled for any or less than that amount, etc. I just thought it was significant because Corda Settler for Swift payments, we all know that R3. We had David Rudder, we had the former CEO, Lebrant was his first name, I'm blanking. But again, we have a new CEO for Swift. They showed Swift GPI plugs right into Corda for settlement. Swift GPI is nothing but messaging like Xcurrent that Ripple uses with their clients on RippleNet today. The 350 to even maybe 400, we're waiting on the official announcement of direct RippleNet customers, are not all using XRP. A very, very small amount are even utilizing XRP today. All right? Just understand, we understand the step, the approach. Brad Garlinghouse has spoken. If you guys have watched Bank XRP on YouTube and you've watched his videos that go back years, I don't even think you'll ever have to watch this channel again. I'm essentially just repeating things we already know, giving my take, and again, recent news as well. So Matt, thank you for always tagging me, sending me information. I appreciate it as well. So we can see core to settler for Swift payments. That means XRP will be an option for clients. Again, this is what we want. Lower those barriers to entry. So Contour, I know people are excited for Spunta and hopefully going live 100% by end of September. That is reconciliation, clearing. And we are waiting for settlements for XRP. So again, a step in the right direction. I'm not seeing fun. I'm not seeing negativity. I'm seeing what I want to see as an investor. Do I have to be patient? Perhaps. Is that frustrating at times? Yes, but knowing the upside is good enough for me. So Contour at a glance, platform, R3's core to enterprise, application builder, crypto BLK key partners, and I'm just going to say Bain, but it's BAIN. Really quick. You guys can see, October 2018 all the way up to June 2019. I mean, I can already see like 4 RippleNet partners, at least people I can tie to Ripple directly, whether it's, ING, HSBC, etc., even BNP Paribas. All right. So right here, Contour, and this is what I wanted to show you really quick. Obviously, Contour, R3, they're solving all kinds of things with obligations, but what I found interesting is they're directly showing, again, payments, core to settler for Swift payments. This is why I always do say, keep an eye on R3, keep an eye on Swift, keep an eye on even groups and, platforms and things that I've mentioned. Keep an eye on Instex, INSTEX, all right? And then even right here, Michael, what's his last name? I don't know why I'm blanking, but anyways, someone said, core to settler is a dead project. This guy, GitHub repository is not maintained any longer. And, again, he goes, an option never being used. Why? Because it's still, because no one could explain how the settler can maintain privacy. Again, guys, they're a private company. R3, I think Corda is alive and well. I've read the documents myself. I've seen the plans myself. I'm, personally not worried about that. But again, you're going to see fun. People will have different opinions, to each their own. So right here, I am Legion. So I'm just going to tie a few connections with SBI. As we know, one of the biggest shareholders of Ripple, Yoshitaka Kitao, CEO, is also a board of director on Ripple. So I guess you could say he has a vested interest to ensure that XRP and the ecosystem grows. Obviously, Ripple's best way to appreciate in valuation is for XRP to appreciate, acquire new customers, solve real problems, and scale up accordingly. American Express, Amex, is another RippleNet partner. Now we're going to talk about a German bank in these groups. So we have Solaris, which he shared in the past. I'm not sure if I've covered them. And then Stuttgart. And again, I'm going to butcher these pronunciations. Bear with me for anybody from these areas. It's like I need a quick drink. So right here. So as we can see, FinTech futures, we have Solaris and American Express team up to allow installment payments in Germany. All right, enabling installment payments in Germany for Amex customers. Now we can see here, Solaris Bank raises 26.3 million euros in a Series A financing round. All right, we can kind of see the connections. He does some phenomenal dot connecting, guys. Go to coil.com, and I believe you can read all of his blogs for free. I am Legion. If you want to learn something, read 13 blogs of the most convincing, compelling screenshots ever. Please do so. Support this gentleman. Phenomenal research. So, Germany's second largest stock exchange and Solaris Bank partner to launch crypto exchange. Interesting. So now they're working with Stuttgart Exchange Group, jointly developing infrastructure for cryptocurrency exchanges. All right, and this is from December 12th of 2018. So you can only imagine how much we don't see. And if you guys go back to the news in even 2015, it's mind-boggling. We can see SBI here, again, with, and I don't even know how to pronounce it, but Stuttgart Digital Ventures, all of these groups, tying it together as always. And of course, for those that don't believe, on Ripple, their customers, again, some of the biggest groups in Japan, UBS, American Express right there, Westpac. I mean, a lot of these groups, Mizuho, have already trialed XRP. Qualix, Mercury FX, some of the little guys are the guys that first trialed XRP during the software. Well, it was called XRapid. We have, MoneyGram, DLocal, they're already integrated again with Alipay, however you want to say it. Earthport's been acquired by Visa. So again, they have a direct connection with Ripple. And I mean, it goes just significantly deeper than that. And again, Ripple welcomes Yoshitaka Kitao to its board of directors, as I've said. And again, he is the CEO of SBI Holdings. They are an absolute behemoth, right? And I know you guys already know this. The majority of you do, I assume. Again, the narrative continues, guys. Matthew Liony, global media narrative, digital and cashless payments. As you can see, there is definitely a push, whether you think it's a giant conspiracy or just a subtle push to go more digital. There is kind of a method to the madness, whether you believe that cash is highly infectious or you just think that they want us to go all digital for potentially, better transparency or more control. I get it. We can all have our own opinions. I just think that we can agree that, in terms of a digital world, we spend much of our time on our phone, much of our time on computers, the average person, specifically people in the cities. And I think that we can understand that we're kind of already in a virtual world, so it makes sense that value and everything that we do will eventually go digital. Most people are using their credit cards today. Obviously, if you know the statistics, even going to like fast food places, when you're paying with a card, you statistically pay more because you're actually giving the card and psychologically getting the card back. But if you have, say, 5 singles and you pay for a snack and they give you 2 singles back as change, there's an actual psychological reaction where you feel like you lost something and you have that buyer's remorse. That's what we're witnessing. So again, you're going to see tons of these screenshots. You're going to see this, time in, time again. I know it's been quite some time you've been seeing this, but again, hands off. It's time to go, touchless. Again, we can talk about near field communication payments. We can talk about even what is it, Whole Foods with Amazon with the RFID chips, radio frequency ID, NFC is near field communication. We have IOC urges consumers to switch to online mode of payment. I've heard stories of people saying that no, they're not accepting cash. Now, some people think this is a temporary thing, potentially, but I definitely see even like Christine Lagarde, one of the most powerful women in the world, the president of the European Central Bank, has even, said this. Now, she didn't say how fast it would be. It could take a decade. Who knows? And again, cryptocurrency, precious metals, they can all skyrocket well before that. I'm just saying, I think we can agree where this is going. Rule changes could see Nevada go cashless. Absolutely unbelievable, guys. Again, you can see banks, everything. All right? And, I talk to a lot of people in banking, and they're all agreeing that these brick and mortar areas for banks in particular, we don't need that many locations. So it's going to be a lot more of types of self-service. All right. Next, so on XRP Arcade, we have this recent development introducing the XRP tracker. So for those that do not know, again, XRP is kind of like XRP, just sounding it out, a fun way to say it. XRP tracker, an XRP Ledger monitoring tool. Again, June 28th, 2020 on xrparcade.com. Definitely check out this website if you guys are here to learn. And I mean, I check it out, time and time again, because again, there's such great information. You can see which banks have trialed XRP. He only sticks to the absolute facts. Again, I know I can get a little out there with my opinions, but hey. All right. So again, a multi-purpose tool we can see here with DevNull Productions, again, one of the groups that are working on it, pleased to announce the general availability of a XRP tracker, an XRPL transaction tracker through which specific patterns of activity can be monitored and alerts sent via email, text message, and webhooks. Very, very interesting. So again, xrptracker.com. All right, so it's a multi-purpose tool, as we can see here, transaction monitoring tool. You can get all that information, and essentially right here, monitors accounts for incoming and outgoing transactions. Watch scammers accounts. Again, this is a huge issue today, specifically with keyloggers and ransomware, you name it, accounts, so as to immediately notify law enforcement when transactions are sent to an exchange. All right. Watch for money flow and volume patterns. Again, we'll talk about that as well with utility scan for XRP and on-demand liquidity corridors. Track particular currencies and order books of subsequent algorithmic trading executions. All right, and even thinking about this in the future of digitalization, however you want to say it, I absolutely believe that algorithmic stablecoins are proving to be some of the best stablecoins versus a one-to-one peg or anything like that. Now, will all exist, and some will just kind of be based on trust and kind of vouch like? Potentially. All right. So right here, again, Anders Lundberg, great YouTube channel. So someone sent almost $940,000 in $20,000 batches splits in the US dollar Mexican peso corridor within 8 minutes today on a Sunday, like we've seen before. And again, you can see all of this on utility-scan.com or utility-scan.com. So we have this gentleman. Again, I do not know how to pronounce his name. He has an awesome picture with David Schwartz. And again, I'm just going to say Franz Zovil. In my opinion, it makes it clear that infrastructurally, nothing seems to have changed. Chess pieces still in place. And again, I kind of agree with the sentiment. I know you guys can call it bias. So be it. At least I am admitting it. So utility-scan right here, guys. If you have not seen this website, highly recommend checking it out. You can see, all-time volume. You can see dates. You can see statistics. You can see, on-demand liquidity transactions, etc. All right. And again, you can see the partners specifically. Next. XRP_store just sharing, again, a direct quote from CEO of MoneyGram, Alex Holmes. And again, he's, best buds with Garlinghouse at this point. And just check this out. Again, this is old news. I know some people will get triggered. There's just some very unhappy people that watch videos sometimes. I read the comments. So right here, the Q1 2020 earnings call of May 1st, 2020. We continue to be extremely pleased with the Ripple partnership. We also have a variety of new services in the pipeline and things that we'll be rolling out and expanding with later this year. Again, the whole goal, guys, I know they're using it for treasury operations. There is a push that the end goal is to replace these pre-funded accounts with a much smaller portion of XRP, right? The best goal would be if regulation came, if that is what you believe we need, and banks and corporates can actually hold XRP, or maybe PolySign will play a role. There's many, thoughts out there. And again, time will tell. All right, so right here, I want to show you this. Mickey B. Fresh also has a YouTube channel. Check it out. Very tech savvy guy. I always enjoy his thoughts, and even just kind of hearing his thoughts with Codius and how it ties into this whole equation for XRP. Proof of liquidity. So really quick, guys, I just want you to listen to this 45 seconds. If you don't want to hear this and you hate when I play videos, I get it. Just fast forward maybe 2 minutes. So listen up.
Is designed as an incentive to reward competitive spreads against XRP. Today, it's in live beta testing.
And just so you know, this is 2016, 2017 when it's in live beta testing with, you understand this isn't for us. This is for institutional users and banks. So it's already been trialed. We know Ripple's met with the Central Bank of China. We know how many. They're actively working with 40 to 50 of the top governments today. This is not me saying this. You guys can go find all this information on your own. This is fact.
And you can consider it proof of liquidity. Ripple pays a rebate to banks and traders when they offer liquidity in XRP order books at competitive rates. Cheap FX rates, of course, attract more customers. More customers generate more XRP volume. More volume drives down FX rates, further accelerating Ripple's network effects.
And remember, we talked in the last video about Metcalfe's law, network effects, etc. This is huge, guys. There is huge power in exponential growth. Now, granted, I'm saying it, and XRP is, 95% down from its all-time high, but I think that those with open minds understand where this is going.
Instead of enriching a handful of miners who have cornered economies of scale on Bitcoin and Ethereum, Ripple pays for liquidity, which is valuable to every XRP holder, but more importantly, the broader utility of the network.
All right, and next up, I just want you to see this infographic again. Listen up.
So to fully optimize their connections to the interledger, even further, traders and banks.
And it's all about interledger, guys. They did not create this interledger protocol to, again, be an interledger, network and interledger of ledgers, connecting all these ledgers and paid walled gardens and silos that we've discussed. Hyperledger, all of these groups, Mojo Loop with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they're all working on that because obviously there's not going to be one cryptocurrency that rules the world and solves payments, tracking, secure, like every single issue in the world. No, but what's most likely is there's going to be protocols that allow all these networks to still exist and interoperate. That's how I see it. Now, some will say, no, there's going to be one currency and that's how it works. So be it, guys, and I wish you luck.
Use the digital asset XRP to tighten spreads and reduce liquidity needs. So what we're showing here is how we're connecting disparate networks through our solutions. We've also built solutions for third-party traders like hedge funds, market makers, corporates. DCG is a good example of a firm trading within our technology to sell their liquidity and provide competitive FX. This levels the playing field for every node connected to the interledger. So to fully optimize their connections to the interledger, even further, traders and banks use the digital asset XRP to tighten spreads and reduce liquidity needs.
Interesting. And we know the ability of, obviously, these flywheel effects. All right. So right here, I did like this. So again, we have Eric Vale Naylor sharing this. All boats rise with the tide. Obviously, Brad Garlinghouse, many people have said that with cryptocurrencies, specifically, boats with not holes in it, saying that they're all cryptocurrency projects that will rise when money comes. And again, speculative markets happen. We have trends typically every 2 to 3 years. There's a long, bear market, and then the bull runs are relatively very, very short-lived, but extremely explosive. We have, projects going up hundreds of percent, if not thousands of percent. You can go on the, logarithmic charts of tradingview.com. Again, links in the description, and you can look at yourselves and see how these bull runs and how these currencies acted. And you can see that some of them actually do move with the precious metals markets. You can kind of see, correlations for sure. All right, so lastly, I want to cover this. Again, we understand I use coinpaprika.com. I like looking at the all-time high. We can see right here, this is depressing to see XRP over at 95% down. All right, guys, looking on tradingview.com, XRP, and these are weekly candles. Just so you know, we all know that the all-time high was well over $3, $3.82, 84 cents, depending on what exchange average you look at. Some say $3.50, some say $3.30. Teach their own. Broke $3, relatively speculative in my opinion. Was it some type of test? Was it just a speculative market following the fractal, just like Bitcoin? Potentially, all right? Time will tell. To me, it doesn't really matter. We know the price potential, and we understand within the order books. We've done the math, showing volumes, transactions, and obviously, you've heard price predictions and kind of scenarios of if then this would happen. And, even David Short saying, best case for this scenario in this corridor, and for, low value cross border, we could be looking at $120 XRP, otherwise, $1 XRP. Just understand, it serves in their best interest for a higher price. Is it guaranteed to happen? Absolutely not. Am I an absolute believer in it? Yes. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. And I'm just prefacing that, guys. I just believe in this technology. I think that enough people that are very high level are invested in it. And could I absolutely get wrecked from this investment? Yeah, but again, I only invest what I'm willing to lose. And I'm trying to be as transparent as possible with you doing that. Has my faith wavered at all with XRP? Not one bit. All right. So we know that there were previous bull runs early on. Just looking at the logarithmic view of early 2017, we're sitting at half a penny. I remember there were YouTubers saying XRP would go to $1. I remember laughing at the comments of people doubting it. And guess what? It happened. Same concept as always. All right. So then we can see the bull run when Bitcoin approached, obviously 20K. One to remember. And just like that, you understand that there's, multi-year cycles, 6 months, 2 years, 3-year bear markets, and it works. It really does wear down on people's psychology. We're getting all this good news, and every time we get good news, we get a dump. And it's creating this cognitive dissonance in the masses, right? Maybe I'm just looking at it weird, but that's just kind of my thought on this matter. I think this is the same thing. It is very analogous and rhyming with what happened with the dot-com bubble. But today, we are more connected than ever with YouTube, Twitter, and all these platforms, rather than the everyday, investor that was just on an email list or had a financial advisor. All right. We're getting real-time news. Some people, have contacts with, huge groups. I'm not going to name any companies, but again, you guys do your own research and I will do mine. So, cool thing is this, just to stay optimistic, I'm not trying to be hypey, even though I'm very excited. And no, I'm not paid by Ripple for the last time. I'm not paid by anybody, literally YouTube and just ads. And I do not do this for an actual living for the last time. This is a side hobby. I love building a community. All right, so right here, 17 cents, guys. Even to approach where we rejected that one first mountaintop where we rejected with the wick, at least, we're looking at like 34 cents when we got rejected. That's 90 to 100% return right there. And again, when we even approach that 25, 21, 25 cent mark, again, to 25 cents from around the current price of 17, 18 cents, that's a good 40% right there. So I think that the sentiment will go up. It's really funny how it works. And I admit to it too. When the price is up, I feel better. Unless, I have a big buy coming and I'm planning and I have cash on the side, I'm really happy when it goes down, but I don't really publicize that because I know it might upset people. Because obviously, people want to change their lives. A lot of people are banking on this. And, obviously I diversify. Some may go ahead of time. I know Mr. Level Up's been calling for a long time with Digibyte in particular. He called it. He said the bull run has already been here, but people aren't realizing, and that some fractals are ahead of each other. You guys can make fun of him. I respect this guy a lot, and he's been nothing but polite and professional towards me. And again, to each their own. I'm not wasting time trolling and making fun of people that are, trying to improve lives for others online. No vested interests, and that's just how it is. So, right here, guys, even Digibyte, they already approached where they were in November 2018. And if you think that this is, a one-off or not many others are, I'm going to have to disagree with you. There's many more assets that are going to do this. Many. Now, what happens when the regulations crushes some? Who knows? We'll see what happens, how the boats rise with the tide. We can see, even ADA, Cardano has been breaking up and going up, and now it's approaching its June 2019, slowly but surely. All right. Well, why isn't XRP? Well, it's funny because, Mr. Level Up and other people are sharing what's following the fractal, but it's going down. They don't know what's happening. And yeah, there's absolute suppression or something's going on within the order books. Is it just whales? Who knows? I'm not, blaming companies. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying I believe that there is upside potential and it's simply a waiting game. Are you willing to wait 1 month? Are you willing to wait 5 years? Some are not. And for me, I see the upside. I see the potential. XRP is all or nothing. None of this is financial advice, guys. Just understand that even at 17 cents and improving your dollar cost average, if you bought and your break-even amount is 50 cents or 30 cents, this is an opportunity. Now, if you've already invested enough, more than you're willing to lose, don't touch it for your own mental health. Set and forget and leave and let the space mature. All right? Unless you're contributing and building to this ecosystem, I'm all for it, guys. But again, take care of yourself, take care of your family, be safe during 2020. It's been crazy. It is simply a matter of time. And I just want to be another person to encourage you guys to be positive during these times. All right. So with that, as always, I appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like button if you like some of these rants. And again, until next video, thanks.